Welcome back to Safas Unscripted. We got the boys, Brett Burns, Brevan Herfst. They are mocking me because they say I always use the same intro. Boys, listen, we got some hype after the combined 15 video. Now we gotta be serious for once and talk about these fixtures because it's game time. This weekend the Six Nations starts. Well, actually today, because this video is being posted on it's being posted on Friday. Yeah, it's Batman in my room. Okay, bit of load shedding troubles. This is the official preview for the weekend. So we're gonna go through all three games, choose the winner, where each team get their advantages. Now, I know we are not Six Nations fanboys, but obviously we will still watch it with great interest, right? Because international rugby, there's no such glory as international rugby. Would we agree?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Firstly, I want to say I like Brevan's jersey.
Hey, I like yours too.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Casual, yours isn't bad either.
Okay. Get out of each other's bums. Let's do this. Right? So, starting off, we got the first game tonight, and most people would probably say this is the decider. Now, I know you two won't agree with it, but most people with sane minds would probably say the winner is either France or Ireland when it comes to this. The winner of this game does the clean sweep. Now, we don't agree, but who do we see taking this one, boys?
I'll go first. I'm like I said in a previous episode that I'm very upset that I had to read an article where everyone says this is the decider. It's the Friday game. What's the point in watching the rest of the Six Nations then? Why hype up the very first game and the only game on Friday? It just annoys the nonsense out of me. And I'm going to stick with my prediction that I said this game is going to be a draw. And people are going to all look dumbfounded. So I'm going with draw.
I would love for Brett to be right on this one. I don't necessarily agree with Brett, well, ever. But I would love for him to be correct on this one.
So, essentially what Brett is saying, he's 100% correct. So, this whole Six Nations is now basically, by a lot of people, being thought to be done after the first game. And now he's got a massive point. Now, why must we watch the rest of the Six Nations if everyone's going to think that this is a decider? Because then, you may as well just take the trophy type of thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, I do believe Ireland will win. I don't want them to win. I do have a preferred Scotland. I'd love for them to win. That's like my ultimate. But I think Ireland will take it, so that means I'll have to go with an Irish win. They'll scrape through, and I think they'll win by 2 to 3 points.
Ooh. Well, the thing is, it's kind of tough to predict the winner just because they have such contrasting game plans. Like if you think about the French way that they play, they kick by far the most of any international team, and they really focus on physicality, where the Irish team focuses a bit more on flary rugby, even though they've got a couple of massive guys. The Irish approach is kind of like that 2019 Springboks team, but
Yeah.
I don't think this game gets decided by playing styles. I think that, as I've said before, this comes down to who's playing the home game, and that's why I'm backing France to take it. I think that crowd will be up for it. I think they will be wild, backing their team, especially their team needing the backing after Antoine Dupont is not available. And I think France have got enough strong names and big names to really, I wouldn't say even cause an upset, to take this game by the scruff of the neck and pull through.
And by that knowledge by that thought process of everything we've just said, that might as well be the end of the episode, because that's the winner or the second place person in the Six Nations, according to every single rugby pundit out there. But we don't do that. We're not about that style. So, Casual, who's next?
Yeah, well, just before we move on, would you agree that the home crowd will be a massive factor, or do you think Ireland somehow gets out of it with their zombie song and pulls the upset?
Look. So not Scotland. The French do have a very, how do you put it? In fact, straight up, they have a disrespectful crowd. Like, it's simple as that. They're massively disrespectful. They are going to boo every penalty that goes against them. That's just how it is. The Springboks, however, know how to get through that because we boo our own franchises when penalties get given against us. So they're used to that. But the Irish, it's going to be tough because it takes a thick skin to be able to get through a rowdy crowd, and it takes a thick-skinned referee to be able to do the same. So it is a massive advantage, but I just think if Ireland can control the game in a sense where they don't have to turn it into like a running fest type thing, I think Ireland can get it done.
Well, Brevin, you brought up an interesting point there, and I want to hear Brett's take on it because not a lot of people want to talk about it. It is a touchy subject in the rugby community. But do you think the ref will have a big influence in this game when you think about how the crowd can be against him? Because we always use the example of Wayne Barnes in that game that we played against the French, where we weren't happy with the refereeing at all. Look at Paul O'Keefe, Ben O'Keefe in the game between us and France as well, getting slaughtered. Let me put this off, okay? So do we think that plays a massive role because we know the refs hate refereeing in France?
Yes, so actually I wanted to, as Brevin was discussing it, I wanted to raise that exact same topic because firstly, I do agree that the French crowd is extremely disrespectful against anybody. Even in the World Cup, I lost so much respect for the French crowd due to the fact that they would sing their national anthem. Yes, it's at home and blah, blah, blah. They have to show their heritage and all that nonsense. But for me, that's completely disrespectful. Nothing to do with the teams on the field. And then the articles we read afterwards about how the fans wanted to physically assault the referees, and also the fans that remember what they did to Kobus Reinach. They messaged him and they wanted to unalive his whole family because of South Africa beating France. So I've got massive disrespect for them, and yes, I do think that the crowd's influence in France is going to play a massive role, especially in the ref's thought process. Like, oh my word, do I call this penalty now or do I risk getting death threats on social media? So I do agree that that's massive.
So for the first time ever on Safa's Unscripted, we have 3 different result predictions. We've got Casual Bias going for a victory for France by 4 points. We got Brett going with a draw. And we got Brevin. What did you say, Brevin? 3 points to Ireland.
Yeah, 2 to 3 points to Ireland.
Yeah.
Insane. Moving on, we've got Italy versus England. Of course, this is played in Italy. Now, very interesting. Do we see Italy having the upset? I mean, if they could have chosen one team to play, I'm pretty sure they want England in Italy. That first game where everyone is up for it, especially knowing England has a couple of no Farrell, no Courtney Laws, no Marcus Smith. They've got some troubles.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Italians posted on their social media that they have sold over 120,000 tickets. Like, fans are starting to really back this Italian side, which means there has to be something going on there. They must know something that we don't. And the Italians we saw what they could do against France last year and come really close. If they get it right against England, England could see their backsides. I'm not saying Italy will win, but if England are not careful, they can really see their backsides here.
Okay, so I might get a bit of slack here, but obviously the shirt that I'm wearing represents who I think is going to win. This is purely based on how well Benetton is currently playing in the URC.
Took my words.
Sorry. So I really like how Benetton's playing, and that's majority of the Italian side. And based on what Casual said, with the players not included in the English side, I think that this is going to be Italy's biggest win over England ever.
Interesting.
Oh,
Like, I'm playing it safe. I'm going with England to narrowly scrape it, but I think Italy. I think it's one of those victories where you say the better team lost the game. Um, but Italy, if they learn something about Benetton and they make that place a fortress come Saturday, I won't be surprised at all if Italy actually pulls one through. I want to see what the betting odds are. I'm not sure what it is at the moment, but that has to be close. If there's like this game normally would be like England would be like 8-time favorites, but not on this occasion. I really wouldn't be surprised for that upset victory. Italy could cause it.
Okay, so we know that we're not allowed to be encouraging betting, so that was not us encouraging betting. We were just figuring out what the odds were. So YouTube, please be nice with us. Anyway, moving on.
we know
Okay.
bet. We know bet. But but
Okay, so
I'm
final.
gonna go with
Oh, sorry.
wait, even let me give my prediction. I know I said they might cause an upset, but I know I'm a Bulls fan. You shouldn't have to be that, nasty about it. But I'm also going to agree with you, Casual. I think England will scrape it, and I think they're going to scrape it by about 4 or 5 points. I really hope the Italians pull this off. It would be fantastic. There's nothing better than English tears. It's fantastic. So let's hope for an Italian win. But I have England by 4 or 5.
Brett, I don't agree with. Brevin, I don't agree with you. I mean, beating England, you get used to it at some point. Like, it's not even fun anymore. Like, it's just one of those things. It's a normal day at the office, right? Of course, I don't want the team to lose ever, but England, it's just another team. There's no rivalry. I don't respect England whatsoever. They're just another bull. It's like beating Italy as well. It's just like it's written in the stars. Easy come, easy go. Moving on to the final game, we got Wales versus Scotland. And these two boys, you already know what they're going to predict on this one. And I'm predicting the same. Scottish win on the Welsh home soil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think the Scottish side last year they were finding their feet, and I think this year their feet would be found, and we're gonna have one of the best Scottish seasons that we've seen in a long time. And personally, for me, it will be the best Scottish season that I've seen in my life. Obviously, my dad used to tell me about when Hastings used to play back in the day. That Scottish side was on a whole nother level, and I want to witness something like that in my lifetime. And I think that this year is Scotland's year.
Yeah, I think Scotland have a really good side there. They've been building with the same guys for about 3 to 4 years now, so that's going to benefit them. They've been through a World Cup together. They know what it's like to travel together now. They've obviously formed a brotherhood. We know that there's basically Edinburgh and Glasgow as their two franchises, so the guys know each other very well. I think Scotland are going to really cause a bit of an upset in the Six Nations, really fight as long as they can in it. And yeah, I think Scotland's going to win this one by I'm going to go by 20 points.
Woo! Goodness gracious. Well,
Wowza.
Revan, with a prediction like that, surely you're seeing a Finn Russell masterclass, right?
Good old Finn. Yeah, I mean, if you don't perform a bit of a masterclass against Wales at the moment, there's something wrong. So
Fear the Finn.
I think the only place where Scotland could come up short a bit is when it comes to physicality. Because that's the only thing that Wales has at the moment is just big brawling guys trying to run over you. Like, that's the one thing that always makes South Africa struggle against Wales. Like, we know we are notorious for struggling against Wales. I know we beat them by about 1 billion points before the World Cup, but before that, doesn't matter how bad that Welsh team is, like, somehow they always stuck in it with us, and that is purely on on physicality. Do we see potentially? I know you said this would be the best Scottish team ever, but is there like slight doubts that there could be an upset on the cards here?
Not for me. Not for me.
No,
at
not
all.
for me.
I'm going also Scotland by more than 10 points. Not as high as Preven to 20, but it's a double-digit win for me for Scotland against Wales.
Okay, I would agree on that. So just to round it all up, we got France versus Ireland. We had 3 different predictions. You had France, boom, draw, and the weird one on the side went with the Ireland victory. And then you had Italy versus England. All 3 of us. No, Brett, you predicted the upset, right?
Yes.
So the 2 normal ones on the side this time around predicted England to scrape by, but not being the better team. Brett went for the upset victory. And then finally, we have Wales versus Scotland. All 3 of us predict a Scotland win. I'm also going double figures, just as you guys, because we want Scotland to do well. I'm not even thinking of Finn Russell masterclass. I'm thinking a Tui Pelotu and a Darcy Gray masterclass, not even Dwan van der Merwe. I just think the game will fit them, and then maybe Hugh Jones on the outside centre. If
Hugh Jones! Yes.
There you go. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify as well. We appreciate your support. We love you guys. We know we are Saffas, but we also enjoy the Six Nations. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Ciao.